Good morning, good afternoon. I hope I find you well. We want to look at purchase order integration. But before we do that, we need to define what purchasing is. We need to understand what is purchasing. If you understand what is purchasing, then you are home and dry. Then the purchase order will follow automatically. What is purchasing? Purchasing is one of the most common and at the same time a strategic activity of your business. The success of business activity is contingent upon having materials and parts. The term purchasing merely refers to the acquisition of some kind of property and offering an accepted price as considered in return. So, if we have the same definition, the better. Then what types of purchasing do we have? We have two types of purchasing. I hope we can write them down and compare with what I have. Mercantile purchasing and industrial purchasing. Mercantile purchasing refers to the commercial activities wherein the buying of items is intended for resale so that you make profit and then you are in business. Then the next one is industrial purchasing. This involves production, consumption and conversion, production of material. Right? So if we electronize these, what does it become? It becomes a purchasing order. Sorry. It becomes a purchasing order system. If it is a purchasing order system, then what are we saying? We are saying this is a computer-based, cloud-based system, which streamlines the way organization buys goods and services. It is inclusive, all-inclusive purchase management system that puts the whole program and process on screen using easy-to-use interface. Lovely, isn't it? Purchase order system is automated, where users have access to preferred suppliers and product or service. The system can create quotation requests, purchase orders, convert quotations, requests to orders, match orders with invoices, goods received, all the way to the payments, eliminating paperwork. The budget module allows you to set and monitor the budget and expenses of all your organizational entities at any time. That's important. You don't get in red. You don't overspend or underspend. Okay? Scope and value, purchase order. To survive competition in today's business world, an organization must stay ahead of its competitors. That's all about business. Effective purchase order management is key to staying competitive, is key to staying in business. We are in the global village. You can't run away from it. In all different types of business, from slow-moving ones to the fast-moving ones, purchase order process has become a critical part of achieving a competitive advantage so that you remain in business. So it's quite an agile supply chain. Sorry. Now, I think I've omitted one of my slides here. Scope and value, that's where we were, right? Then, can you illustrate the purchase order process or system? Just write it down so that we can also follow what you are saying. And then compare with what I have here. 1, purchase requisition. The next step, purchase order. The next step, the vendor can approve or reject your purchase order. The next step, you record purchase order, the recording. This is the processes of the purchase order. These are the steps which you have identified in the diagram above. The purchaser creates a purchase requisition. Step 2, purchaser issues purchase order. Step 3, vendor approves or rejects your purchase order. All right. The vendor will review the purchase order thoroughly, paying attention to all the details, quantities, prices, total amount, terms and conditions linked to that purchase order. Step 4, purchaser records the purchase order. Filling purchase orders is a good habit in case of audit. Yes, they can come after you if you don't do it properly. What are the reasons behind the growth of purchase order? There must be many reasons. And what are these reasons? Try and write them down. And then compare with that I have here. Global competition. You can't run away from it. It's there to stay. Right? The pressure is to reduce costs, which contributes to the growing importance of purchase order. Removing the paperwork, increasing the speed of purchasing, improving the quality. Strategic outcomes is creating a need for improved information sharing. And finally, the decision making is made easier. Firms are extending the purchase order management process to the outside of their walls. Why? Because it's so important. They need to link with their partners. Right? A top priority for firms in today's dynamic business environment is making well-informed and timely decisions. The purchase order system process is key to providing real-time information about the inbound supply, and then which aids to the making correct decisions, avoiding the errors. Demand is increasing with the building faster responses. Why? Because all companies are doing that. That makes the purchase order important. There you are. Effective purchase orders can control and manage the impact of upstream variability, which is critical for the success of the supply chain. I hope you'll agree with me here as supply chain specialists. All right. Then what are the post-purchase order changes? Modifying a purchase order by the supplier, sending purchase order change request. The supplier must identify and adjust the existing purchase order, sending the shipment. The buyer must check if the received goods against the modified purchase order. It's important. Partially fulfilling a purchase order, partially fulfilling the purchase order. Those are the changes which comes, and those are the changes you must take care of. Changing prices, these are the changes. Take care of those changes and compare the prices of purchase order on the modified change or on the changing prices. The environment is really changing and we can't run away from it. All right. So what are the challenges operational at the operational level? We are now looking at the triangle, management triangle. The operational level is the lowest level. That's where the transactions are happening. That's where the purchase order is located. So what are the challenges at this level? We are not talking of middle management. We are not talking of strategic management, which is up there, but at the lowest level, where this system operates. What are the challenges? Write them down and compare with what I have. Timing transaction, crucial for providing visibility in transit goods. If that is missing, then we have a big problem. An audit trail providing whether or not a supplier received purchase order amendment. That is important. Audit trail. This gives you the record, what has happened and who has done what. So that is important for a system. We don't want that to be missing. Support for matching transactions to purchase order system. Necessary to provide an accurate picture of incoming material. Timely and clear communication of a purchase order or a firm requires. Some suppliers may not always know if the date on the purchase order is a shipment date or a delivery date. We don't want that confusion in the system. Otherwise, we have problems. We have a challenge. Right? Again, support of new emerging settlement programs. Evaluated receipt settlement, which is a significant step in eliminating non-value-added activity. We don't need the non-value-added activities here. We need the added activities, not the non-value. If they are non-value, we don't need them. Right? That's it. Many suppliers reporting more than 60 days. How can it take 60 days? Why do you take 60 days in receiving the payment if it is an electronic system? That becomes a big challenge. Many buyers reporting a significant delay in receiving invoices from the vendors. Why should a system operate like that? That becomes a big problem. That shows your relationship with your partners. Monitoring and returning receipt of confirmation and payment notification. We don't want that to be missing in the system. We want a system which runs properly. If those are the challenges, then what are the benefits? You can also write them down and compare with what I have. What are the benefits? We have been talking about benefits of subsystems. This also has got some benefits. We have been talking of the growth, the reasons for growth. Those are some of the benefits. You can generate them from there. But in addition to that, here we are. Logistics improvement and the procurement cost reduction. It goes down, isn't it? Which reduces costs. That's very important. Integration of streamlined process and the elimination of non-value-added activities. We don't want the non-value-added activities. Let them go away. Flexibility and speed, which enable enterprise to shift to a mass customization. What do your customers need? And move with the speed. Otherwise, you are taken by events. This is a world of competition. It's a global village. So you want to maximize that benefit. Improve of service levels and the reduction of fulfillment of lead time. That lead time must be reduced. Reduce the risk. Improve the quality. Right? Because they're in competition. Early adapters benefits for companies using e-business technology in improving post-purchase order management processes to realize the competitive edge. Otherwise, you end up in trouble. You don't want to avoid those. And these are some of the questions which you want to ask. Is the automation possible and appropriate? If yes, so where is the problem? Do it. If automation is possible, can off-the-shelf software, just taking the software from the shelf, can that be used? Or you need a customized program or software, which is suitable for you and not for others. But you still need to communicate with those guys. So your software must be communicating with your partners. Do employees need new learning skills? They might, because this is a computerized system. Will managers need to change the measures they currently use in controlling activities? Change management. I hope we will do that. Will then the entire management hierarchy need to be aligned? The metrics used. This is important. If they don't buy in the whole management, then you are not going anywhere. You need support of management. for this e-procurement process to be successful. Recipe for success. I think this is more of a repetition, all right? Because what we are saying is the purchase order system should trigger, or a purchase order should be initiated. That's the first step. The next one, trigger. The trigger or purchase order is communicated to the supplier. We've already said that. The supplier ships the material. The material is received by the buyer, and then settlement is triggered. We'll also look at settlement at a later stage. Yeah? Settlement is triggered. And how is settlement triggered? All right. An effective transformation. An effective transformation. Plan must support and address all the challenges that surround change management. They're also supported by the management. Selecting the right software, which also does communicate with your partners, is very important. Having proper training for the users. Let the users accept the system. If they don't accept the system, then you are in trouble. Maintaining upper management buy-in, I can't repeat that. That is very important. And I just hope and wish that you are part of the management. It needs to be easier. Having roll-out and maintenance strategies. How are you going to do it? Are you going to do the pilot testing? What are you going to do? Where is the problem? How do you do it? And the maintenance strategies, the software, the hardware, all these need to be maintained. What are the post-execution, post-order execution steps? The maintenance part of it. Execution. Okay? These are the steps which you must follow. Let's look at the execution part of it. Replenishment signals are triggered to suppliers based on the consumption information and the inventory. We have already looked at inventory management. Then there is a link there. Step 2, purchase order system or schedules are issued and communicated to the suppliers. Suppliers acknowledge and confirm with the buyers the availability of items and the delivery item. Supplier prepare items for shipping, plan logistics, and contact carriers. I'm sure you are doing transport logistics. Then you understand the link between what we are saying here. Step 5, advanced ship notification are sent to the buyers and supplier by the supplier. In transit status notification and exemption detection are performed by suppliers. Materials are received by the buyers. Returns, if any, are monitored by the buyers. Settlements, invoice, and so on are conducted by the buyers. Deliver performance is captured by the buyers. So everyone has got a role. The supplier and the buyer. They have their roles for the system to work very properly. Thank you very much for listening to this one. I hope I've made it simpler. Thank you so much. I will meet you in the next lecture.